What's going on, chicken friends? It's Donna Little from the Coop Scoop, and I'm out here just hanging out with my girls. They've kind of abandoned me now. They're over there at the fig tree, plucking figs off of it. But I thought today I would address the top, I think it's probably 4 or 5 comments and questions that I get and have gotten over and over again on the channel. So, and I know not everybody reads the comments and sees the answer, so they might still wonder this. So hopefully you'll see this video and I will answer or address any of the comments or questions that you had or were thinking about asking. The number one question that I get all the time, I probably get this question at least once a day, is why don't you have a rooster? And the answer is very simple. In the county and city that I live in, we are not allowed to have roosters. And I know I get this comment or question a lot of times from people that are out of the country, and that's just not a thing where they live. So they're like confused, you know, what do you mean you're not allowed to have roosters? But we're just not, and it is in the city limits, so I get it, you know, I understand. Hey girl, Hazel's coming to say hi. Come on, sister. So, you know, I do get it. While we have a nice sizable lot here, we have about 3 acres, we do have neighbors. They surround, back behind me is neighbors, and then along there, I'm actually facing the side of my house. So, you know, I get it. I don't want to be that neighbor. And I will have people then that want to argue with me and say, well, then you need to just fight the city or the council. I don't want to do that. You know, I don't really want to be on the radar of anyone. I have had people be sometimes quite rude and say, then you don't deserve to have chickens. And to that I say, stay in your lane and mind your own business, because yes, I do. I take very good care of my girls. Even Hazel, who wants to kill me on a daily basis, will tell you that I love her. And I take very good care of them. So, you know, that's it. That's the reason. We're just not allowed to have them here. And, you know, like I said, I don't want to fight the city or the county, and I also don't really want to be that neighbor that is annoying. I don't want a rooster, you know, that close to other houses crowing at, you know, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. So I would rather be a good neighbor. Now, speaking of Hazel, who's standing here chatting me up, I get a lot of questions about Hazel. And the number one question is, are you sure she's not a rooster? Yes, I am sure she's not a rooster. She is not sure that she's not a rooster. I am. So I will clarify a few things about Hazel. She's clawing my leg right now. Yes, she has an attitude, and yes, she has a big comb, and she might to some look like a rooster. The girl has been laying eggs almost on a daily basis since she was about probably 5 months old. Yes, I have actually witnessed her laying eggs many, many times. It is not someone else's egg. I have had people say that. And she also, I know she has a big attitude. Now, I post videos or shorts about her where she's biting me or having a go at me, trying to flog me. And get a sense of humor, folks. I mean, it's funny. Like, she's probably my second to my smallest chicken. She can't hurt me. She doesn't have spurs. I mean, like, it's not like I'm going to start bleeding and lay out here in the yard and die. Now, if I did pass out in the yard, she would probably be the first one to peck my eyes out. I'm not going to lie. But that's just who she is. She's just spicy. I laugh at this chicken every day. I ask her what her mood is almost every day, and it's usually not good. And I'm okay with that. I actually had somebody in my last short with her say, she only acts like that because you allow her to and you cower to her. Okay, first of all, I've never cowered to a chicken in my life. That would be a little weird. Maybe a rooster, but I don't have a rooster, so, you know. But I don't cower to my chicken. I just love her and think she's funny. She's not going to maul me. I'm taller than her, even though I'm not very tall. I am a lot bigger than her, and I can make her stop just by picking her up. So, have a sense of humor about it, folks. If I think it's funny and I live with her, it's okay. Another thing that I get all the time, I actually had somebody say to me that that they would not keep a chicken that acted like that and terrorized, that was the word they used, the flock like she does. And I'm like, she just terrorizes me. She's actually great with the other chickens. She's fantastic. Her little look-alike, Ruby, is a little bit of a bully. She's not bad, but she's kind of just one of the top hens. So she, you know, she puts everybody in their place. But Hazel, she's not even really up there in the top. I mean, she gets along well with everybody. It's just me she wants to kill, okay? And if I'm all right with that, you should be all right with that too. Oh my goodness. And the next comments, it's more comments than questions I get, are about the cat. I have taken a lot of hate for this cat that I did not even want, okay? So I'll give you the story of the cat really quick. This was a feral, and I have had people say, that is not a feral cat. That cat was not feral. Why are you lying? I'm not lying. She showed up here with her mom and little siblings last summer. I don't remember when it was, June, July, August, something. Every night I come and sit on my porch and enjoy the weather when it cools down, put my chickens in, and all of a sudden I was seeing a mama cat and her babies out here playing in the yard. And so I said to Mark, oh, look at those cute little kittens. They're so tiny. Like they were maybe 5 or 6 weeks old. And so I would watch them at night. And then that went on, you know, I would see them almost every single night for probably 2 or 3 weeks. And then all of a sudden they were gone. And we have a large feral cat population around here. And so, you know, I see ferals coming through the yard constantly. And, you know, they just kind of happened to be here a lot. And I think she was probably living, I have my old chicken coop sort of in the wood line. I think she probably had the kittens either under it or in it. And she was just bringing them out to play at night when she felt safe, you know. And so they all disappeared except for her. And so she ended up staying and just hanging out with the chickens. So I would see her in the run with the chickens, and, you know, she was little bitty then, and they weren't, you know, concerned about her. So she's literally grown up with them. So when we got, you know, like maybe a month in to her staying here, you know, Mark commented on it and said, I mean, it's kind of cute that the cat's out there hanging out. He is not a cat person. And honestly, I'm not a cat person either. I've had 2 cats in my adult life that lived in what is now my chicken coop. That used to be my foster building, and then it turned into my workshop. But when it was my foster building, when I had a rescue, I ended up taking in 2 FIV positive cats that were both very sweet, and they were going to get put to sleep, and I, you know, suckered into taking them. They didn't live in my house. They lived in the foster building, and then I made them an enclosed fence with a top on it to keep them safe. And they lived there for a while. I had them probably a couple of years, and then they actually did get adopted together. But, you know, I've never really wanted a cat. I love cats. I think they're fantastic. I just want them to live with someone else. You know, my mom has a cat that I adore. I actually fostered her as a tiny little, she was a little bottle kitten. But I don't want cats for myself. So I you know, would see her. Then it started to get cool at night, and she would come up onto the screen porch and sleep in the chair. And I would see her out there, and I felt sorry for her, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to start feeding this cat because then I'm just going to have more cats, and I don't want to get into that, and then I'm going to have to get her spayed. And Mark, I can assure you, is going to say, no, we're not feeding that cat. So he said to me one day, after a few weeks of seeing her up there, he said, that little cat is sleeping up on the porch. And I said, yeah, you know, I've seen her up there. And he said, maybe we should start feeding her. And I literally just went, who are you? Like, you don't like cats. What are you talking about? And he said, I don't know. I just like her. I mean, you know, I think she's so cute out there with the chickens and everything. And a few days before that, I had seen her eating some of the chicken feed. And I felt really bad because there is 0 nutritional value for a cat in chicken feed. And so I said, if we feed her, we got to spay her. And he was like, you know, okay, we'll just find a place to, you know, as inexpensive as you can. So started feeding her, and we would feed her up on the porch where she was safe. And then I made her a little bed, and, you know, the rest is history. And we took her and got her spayed. And that was 6 months ago. When I took her and got her spayed, I had never touched her. I started laying the groundwork to trap her when I got the appointment. And instead of the little cat bed that she had, I put a dog crate there. So she used to go inside an enclosed area, and then I swapped it out for the trap the night before, and I trapped her the night before we got her spayed. I'd never touched her. And so when I show her on the channel, and I like an idiot, I guess, showed a video of her and she had killed a squirrel. People lost their minds. So, here's the thing. I didn't have to take this cat in. I didn't have to get her spayed. I didn't have to start feeding her. I can tell you right now, there are cats that travel through my yard every day. And I've never fed one. I've lived here 31 years. I have never fed a feral cat until her. And I don't know why, but she just won us over. Say hi, Zadie. She just won the two of us over, and we decided, you know, to take her in. It took a few weeks after her spay to, Mark was able to touch her first. It took her a good bit longer to warm up to me. He sat with her every day and would put food out for her, and he would put it closer and closer so she would start to associate him, and it worked. I couldn't, he was petting her for probably a good month before I could get near her. So when I have people, you know, say, you need to bring your vicious cat in the house, and what is wrong with you letting this cat kill an animal? She gets fed every day, but she still has a prey drive because she's a cat. The reason that the cat is not going to, at least for a while, ever live in my house, there are several reasons. One is, she's still pretty feral when she comes in. Now, in the mornings when it's nice, I will leave my back door open because we have a screened porch, and she'll go in sometimes. If she's in there by herself, she's good. If I come inside, she is immediately terrified, and she runs right back out the door. So one day she was in and she didn't hear me come back in, and I shut the door, and she heard me shut that door. I mean, she couldn't get to the back door fast enough. She won't let me near her in the house. Number two reason is we have a dog that absolutely, utterly hates cats. She always has all her life, and she's older now. She's, you know, got a good many years left in her, but it's not Camden, the little chihuahua. It's our other dog. Camden doesn't care about anybody. But she hates this cat. She hates any cat. And so I'm not going to turn my dog's life upside down so that I can bring a cat in the house in her later years and make her miserable. I'm just not going to do it. And then the other reason is we have fish aquariums. And her thing is she wants to go in and sit in front of the fish aquarium, and there's a chair beside the aquarium, or sit on the arm of the chair. And I'm really genuinely afraid that one day she's going to jump up there and go in. There's a mesh top that is very lightweight, and all it would take is for her to just bump into it, and she's going in. And the top, I've hit it before, and it's come up, and it will go right back down, is that she'll end up trapped in the fish aquarium and drown. And so I'm not willing to take that chance, on top of the fact that I can't imagine the trauma it would be for my fish. So we are actually selling probably all but one of our aquariums, and so, you know, maybe down the road when she gets a little older, after our dog is gone, this will be something we can revisit, her coming in the house. But right now, it's not going to happen. So for all the people that have a stroke about the cat being out here hunting, had I not decided to start feeding her, and had I not spayed her, she was pregnant with 4 kittens when we had her spayed, she would probably be on her 3rd litter of kittens right now. So there would be probably minimally a dozen more feral cats out here killing the wildlife. So I did my part. So anybody that wants to argue about it, go argue with somebody else, because I'm not going to argue about it anymore. The next comment that I get that I find just so funny and strange is, do your chickens have water? You need to give your chickens water. I definitely have a little bit of a sarcastic streak in me, and I really have to just rein it in and go, don't get sarcastic, don't be mean, because I don't understand that. Like, someone will see a 20-second short with a little sliver of my yard and say, I don't see any water out there. Why don't you give your chickens water? I don't know how anybody thinks that they've made it to adulthood and not had any water. So, to ease the minds of those who wonder that, yes, every single minute of every single day and night, my chickens have water, even in the coop. And I know that's a little controversial. There'll be people that say, in the winter you should never have water in the coop because it creates moisture. Well, my coop is huge, So I'm not particularly worried about, moisture building up and them getting frostbite, and I live in the South. So we have very little weather that's that kind of cold. But I put 2 containers of water up by my house, and there is water at the coop, and it's outside the coop in the day, and then I carry it in at night. They have water all the time. When it's really hot, I put water bottles that are frozen in their water to keep it cool. And I also, right now it's dripping, I let my faucet just drip, and it just makes a nice little wet, cool space, because my chickens won't stand in water that I have provided for them. In like a pan or a shallow dish, they won't do that, but they will stand in that. So yes, indeed, my chickens have made it to adulthood because I give them water and food. So there's that. One of the other questions that I get asked all the time, and I have written it down because I'm old and I can't remember all this off the cuff, is what are the breeds of chickens that I have? And so I'm going to tell you guys the breeds of chickens that I have and their names. I have 2 Jersey Giants. One of them is Opal. She's my adult hen. And then I have a little 9-week-old named Pearl. I have 3 Brahmas. I have Ella, a dark Brahma, Delilah, who is a buff Brahma, and Zadie, who's a light Brahma. I have 1 Barnevelder named Alice. I have 2 Wyandottes. I have Jolene and Isabel. I have 5 Morans now. Charlotte, if you watch my channel, no doubt you know who Charlotte is. Charlotte, Caroline, and then I've got 3 of the little youngsters or Morans. Can you tell I fell in love with this breed, and it's all because of Charlotte. I have 1 named Georgia, 1 named Summer, and 1 named Nellie. And I have 4 Orpingtons, Ivy, Grace, Ari, and then a chocolate Orpington that is one of the babies. I have 2 Sapphire Gems, Cora and Maisie. I have 2 Golden Comets, Hazel and Ruby, and that is Ruby back here behind me. I have an Olive Egger, and that's my little baby Fern. And I have an Easter Egger named Mabel, and a Bielefelder that's one of the babies named Lola May. So those are the top comments and questions that I get on my channel. And hopefully, if you were thinking about asking any one of those, I have already answered it for you. And I have 26 total chickens. Oh, and here's another question that I get asked a lot, and maybe one of you will know the answer to this. I get asked this constantly. What is the ground cover in your yard? I don't know. What is that, guys? I have a lot of grass, and then I have clover, and then I have this. So I literally probably get asked this once a week. What is this? I have no idea. So maybe one of you know. Tell me in the comment if you do, and then I'll know so I can answer it, because I'm sure I'm going to get asked again. I hope you guys are enjoying our content, and if you are, stick around, hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss anything that's upcoming. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next video.